Hello, this is Uri Mendel Weinberger. I am a spiritual coach and a mindfulness teacher. And I'm here today to talk to you about the letter Vav. As you can see right above me, the sixth letter of the aleph-beit. So the general, and just as the introduction, most of the material that I'm going to talk about is from Rav Yitzchak Ginsburgh's book, The Hebrew Letters, Channels of Creative Consciousness. So I want to acknowledge that and a big debt of gratitude for this work. Okay, so what is the idea of the Vav? The Vav is the idea of connection. Literally, when you put the Vav before a word, it means and. So, where's the first Vav in the Torah? Here it is, the first pasuk. Bereshit bar Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. And God, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So we see this connection between the heaven, the spiritual, and earth, the physical. Now, there's two aspects that are very important to realize. There's an external and internal. Everything has that, actually. Everything in creation has these two aspects. So the external aspect is hierarchy. As you see, this is a vertical letter. There's the top, there's the middle, there's the bottom, and one thing above the other. And we see this in many areas. The four elements are a hierarchy, with fire being the top. Below that, air. Below that, water. Below that, at the bottom, very bottom, is earth. And the same thing with the four categories of life, which is at the top human, under that animal, under that vegetable, at the bottom mineral. Human society is built basically on hierarchies. There's the boss, there's the CEO, there's the general, there's the president, the rabbi, Rosh Yeshiva, and then you have the ones under him, like in a yeshiva you have the Rosh Yeshiva, then you have the Magadi Shir, Menahel Ruchani, the Mashgiach, and the Ramim, the ones who teach the classes. And then maybe over that, the guys who take care of administration and the cleaners and cooks and whatever. So this is the way society, even animal society, works this way. The alpha male, the alpha female, and those under. But internally, there's a unity. The internal of the Vav is connection. So even if you looked at like a pipe on the outside, there's a top and the bottom, but inside it all flows like water flowing through it all. It's all together. Now, I'm going to go through the form and the name and the number and the different aspects of worlds, souls, and divinity. So, in terms of worlds, what is this form? What does the form look like? It's a pillar or a line, a man standing up. So in the Gemara, there's three opinions about the pillar. In other words, what is holding the world up? What is the foundation of the world? And there's three opinions. The first one is the 12 tribes of Israel. This is the foundation of the Jewish nation. As we know, all blessings go out to the world through the Jews. And the second opinion, the 7 shepherds. That's Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, Yosef, and David. So that's the idea of these 7 personalities, these archetypes, who support the world. And the last one is Mashiach, who it's the spiritual aspect. I'm talking about the personality. We're talking about the idea of Mashiach, which is the personality that unites everyone and its potential in every generation. Now, in terms of the Mishkan, we see something that unites everything. That's called Bariach Atichon. It's the middle bolt that went through all the boards miraculously in a rectangle, I guess it was, and connected all the boards so it became one structure. Now, what about souls? Now, so we're going to look at the man standing up, and the Rambam says the way to serve God is, it says in Pirkei Avos, Tiferet. Tiferet, I don't exactly know the words, but it's beautiful to man and beautiful to God. And Tiferet is the middle path. Not too much chesed, not too much gavura, not too much giving out, not too much restraining. It's somewhere in the middle. And in terms of divinity, we see the middle pillar is the pillar of, well, I'll just say, in the tree of life, we have the have the three columns, basically. The right side, Chochmah, Chesed, and Hod. The left side, Bina, Gevurah, and Netzach. I know the screen is opposite. And in the middle, Keter, Dat, Tiferet, Yesod, Malchut. So the middle, there's no opposition in the middle. It's the truth that unites the right and the left, the two opposites. So that's the idea of the Vav in terms of divinity. Now the name is called Vav. What does it mean in Hebrew? It means hook. Vave. In the Mishkan there was something called Vave Ha'amudim. These were the hooks of the pillars. So what did they connect? They connected the curtains, which is the idea of concealment, to the pillars, which is the idea of revelation. Again, just like heaven and earth, in the Mishkan we had the concealment and the revelation. In terms of Jews, so anyone who lives in Israel or even anywhere, he knows that every Jew has his own opinion and his own way and we have many ways of serving God. Some Jews are Torah scholars, some Jews are businessmen, some Jews are concentrating chesed, some are simple, who are just prayer. I shouldn't say just prayer. So there's different ways. Everyone has their way of serving God. But the Vav is what connects us all together, which is what's needed. Unity is when we're unified, nothing can hurt us, and we bring a lot of light to the world. In terms of divinity, so what's the Vav in divinity? Also, we have a lot of different mitzvot. We have agricultural mitzvot, we have marriage mitzvot, we have Shabbat, Kashrut, business, the priests, the korbanot. They have many different mitzvot. So you could say there's a hierarchy. These are more important, these are less important. But really the Vav is there to connect them all. They're all ways to serve God. Finally, the number 6. And the number 6 is important. Of course, the 6 that comes to mind in terms of the world are the 6 days of creation. And expanding that, the 6,000 years of history, according to the Torah. Also, the word Bereshit, the first word in Torah, has 6 letters. And finally, there's 6 directions in physical reality: up, down, east, west, north, south. Now, in terms of souls, there's a vision of Yeshayahu, and his vision was angels with 6 wings. Why do they need 6 wings? Obviously, it's a metaphor. So the 2 wings were covering the face. What's that about? That's about meditation. It's about going inside. It's about closing our eyes and connecting with our internal, our soul. And it's also a sense of shame, holy shame, not guilt. Shame that we could be better. We can be better Jews, we can be better people. And that's when we stand before God in Rosh Hashanah. That's what we're saying. We want to be better. We want to connect with you. The two wings covering the feet is about action. It's about the way we act in the world. And there's a line that says, Hatzneh lechet im Hashem. We should walk humbly with God, or modestly with God. We need to act in the world. We need to go out there and build businesses and organizations and do things. But we need to do it in a humble way, not an arrogant way. And the two last wings are to fly. Obviously, a bird needs to fly, or an angel needs to fly. And that's the idea of transcending the physical and going above to the spiritual realm. And that's the realm of the soul. And what are these two wings? And it's taught in Kabbalah and Hasidus, it's Ava v'Yira, love and fear. Love of God, fear of God, those are the wings that raise us up in tefillah and raise our Torah up and our mitzvah. And finally, in divinity, we have the Shtei Luchot HaBrit. Now, these what they call the tablets, that Moshe gave, that Hashem gave to Moshe, especially the first ones, were not slabs of rock with a rounded top or a square top. They were cubes. And a cube has 6 sides. It's a 3-dimensional square, basically. So I said they have 6, and also there's 6 orders of the Mishnah. That's the oral Torah. So we just went through briefly the form, the name, and the number, and how it expressed in worlds, souls, and divinity. So there's a lot of information here. So what do we do with it? So I like to suggest a practice that's just suggested by Rav Aryeh Kaplan in his book, Jewish Meditation. And that's to look at the Vav, stare at it, imprint the form in your mind for about 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Bring up that image in your mind's eye. And it might disappear and come back. Mind might wander. Just bring it back. That's meditation. Focus on the Vav. At the same time, being open to any intuitive flashes of how can you connect. What does the Vav mean to you? What are the ways you connect to the Torah, to mitzvot, to Am Yisrael, to God? That's the Vav. The Vav is connection. So, and try that. I'd like to hear how it goes. Share with me. Anyway, thank you for listening. My name is Ori Mendel Weinberger. Again, a spiritual life coach and meditation teacher. Anyone who would like to connect with me, please, I have the information in the either email or WhatsApp. I offer a free complimentary coaching session for Jewish men, and anyone who's interested, please reach out to me, and have a wonderful, wonderful connected day. Take care.